TikTok celebrity couple Jarvis and Peller are going through a rough patch in their relationship, with both of them accusing the other of wrongdoings. Jarvis, on her part, broke down in tears during a live stream session while opening up about the issues in their relationship. In the emotionally charged live session that featured other popular TikTokers Sandra Benede and Sheun Pizzo, Jarvis accused Peller of consistently breaching her trust by publicly sharing private details, private details of their relationships online. Jarvis disclosed that Peller's apparent inability to filter the things to make public about their relationship has led her to stop confiding in him altogether. She said, "He doesn't know how to filter his words when he is live." Expressing frustration about personal issues, Peller discusses during his live session. Jarvis admitted that there are a number of reasons for the recent disagreement. She said, "There are many reasons Peller is angry, but he is taking it public. We've already talked about these things privately, but because it hasn't been addressed online." Telling his side of the story during his own live session, Peller accused Jarvis of being secretive, saying she is in the habit of not informing him of her plans in advance. He insisted that he is open with her about his life and doesn't hold anything back. An apparently frustrated Peller went on to say he's been deeply hurt by Jarvis and he is only now trying to take her back. He said, "How can I claim this kind of girl? Do you know what the girl did? I don't like Jarvis. She has offended me. I am just helping her life now. I'm trying to accept her back, but she has already hurt me." This is not the first time Jarvis and Peller have had a go at each other publicly. In March 2025, Jarvis called out Peller and threatened to end their engagement following another heated argument. Now, this is one of those days we see, or one of those things we see in a Gen Z relationship. Yeah, so on your end, what's your take on this particular story and young ones in relationship? What would your advice be to them?
Well, we all know Peller. I wouldn't want to say much about him, but his character, sometimes he's more like a clout type. Someone who chases clout. He's a TikToker, and most TikTokers they like the clout. They go for the clout because it's the clout that gives them the traction. It's the clout that gives them the traffic. So sometimes they do things or they say things that are not real or that are a bit controversial.
Yeah.
And you see it as people just try to comment, try to throw, and before you know, they gain that particular traffic on their pages and all that. So I think that it could be clout, but let's look away from the clout.
Yeah.
And let's see it as a reality, because they are pushing it online, and there may be some other people who may be also affected by this
particular
or
have the same scenario.
Or have the same scenario,
playing out in their relationship.
Yes, so I think that to me, my candid advice to them is this: you don't put up your relationship online. There are some things that are private. There are some things that should be shared online. When you share some things that are meant to be private and you put them online, you got a lot of outbursts, emotional outbursts. Sometimes people do it for sympathy. And once you do that, you try to, it escalates a bit because it damages trust. It does a lot. It can also hinder genuine intention. Because people tend to give. That's what they call online in-laws. They call them online in-laws.
Online in-laws.
People try to throw their 2 cents. sometimes if you're not careful, their 2 cents can navigate your path, or it can tear you apart. You know, that's why most celebrities that cannot stand the bashing, once they start trolling them, they go as far as shutting down
uninstalling the
their
app.
IG account or shutting it down, because you see some trolls that, my dear, you cannot sleep.
It's like they're coming for your life with a gun.
Someone will say, like, for instance, someone will say that God that will punish your this and this, try to hit you so hard that
You'll be wondering what you even did.
I'm telling you. So I think that it's not healthy to bring some things on online, and before you do that, there needs to be a conversation, a private conversation between partners, and to discuss some certain things to bring online, things to leave or offline. So when you do that, I think there is enhanced communication between the both sides, and you see some of these issues being resolved amicably.
Now, on Jarvis's part, now she believes there are there are conversations she has had. Now, let's take it out of Jarvis. Now, this is that young guy. Yeah, he's having a conversation with his girlfriend, and okay, that young girlfriend now, or that older girlfriend that is having a conversation with her boyfriend, and before you know, the guy goes on his Snapchat or on his Instagram and goes live, and he discloses private things that you guys discussed, thereby breaching trust and making you not want to share, because that's her issue. She they had discussions and she shared some things, and he's coming live to say it.
Yeah.
And now he is now seeing her as being secretive. Okay. Now you have people who go through this particular thing. Now for people that are going through that particular thing, what would you say? How would you handle that if this matter comes to your table?
Well, like I said, it's a two-way thing. When some issues are meant to be kept offline, some are also meant to be published online.
Why though?
But it depends on, like I said, communication. Enhanced communication. You have to allow your partner air her views, because there are some things that comes online that leads to reputation damages. That it can damage your reputation. It can bring you so low that maybe you don't want those things to be aired online. Take for instance the issue that happened, the Tiwa Savage sex tape that leaked online was just a minor mistake. Just the guy, for what Tiwa said, he said his lover was trying to upload mistakenly, or was trying to prove a point, and uploaded it on his Snap. He didn't take up to a minute, he deleted it. But you know how Snap works. Someone has already screen recorded it. Yeah. So sometimes there needs to be a communication. When that communication gap is there, you see some of these things happening in relationship. Yeah. The communication gap needs to be so strong. I mean, it needs to be closed in a way that both parties can say, "Oh, I'm creating content with this. Yeah. I don't want this to be online. I don't want this to be offline." And you have to understand that this is boundaries.
Yeah,
you know, this is boundaries. People need to come together. You respect people's boundaries. You know that, oh, this person does not like this going online. This person does not like this coming. So if you do that, I don't think couples can have issues like this. But when there's no communication, when there's a communication gap, you see some of these things affecting them. And you know, they are Gen Z, they are full of energy, they are full of options and all that. You know, so people are on their radar, so they can as well sweep you off your, and before you know, the next person is on the line. So, but I think healthy communication goes a long way in closing the gap. When things like this comes online or go offline.
Now, how important is trust in a relationship, and what can young couples do to maintain it?
Trust is important. Is healthy in a relationship, because it creates that intimacy. It creates intimacy. It creates security and open communication. Yeah. When there is no trust, I bet you the relationship has collapsed from day one. Yes, because I'm with my partner is not with me, for instance, is somewhere. because I have doubts about, I have trust issues.
Yeah.
And you see that even if my partner is not doing anything, you know, I begin to suspect, I'll begin to create unnecessary suspicion. And that goes a long way in creating the emotional imbalance. She comes back home, where did you go to? Before you know, it results in domestic violence or one or two. You know, so that trust is key. In fact, if you're in a serious relationship and there's no trust, I don't think you should be in that relationship. You should just pack your bag and go. Instead, people are just exploring. You know what I mean? Exploring the moment.
You were exploring.
Yes,
that kind of exploration.
Exploring the times, the times and season.
Oh Jesus! Now on that part where he accused Peller accused Jarvis of being secretive. Now, while Jarvis accused Peller of oversharing, how can they strike a balance? How do you think balance should be stricken? How do you think they should strike a balance now on this particular?
The balance is always there. Like I said, some people are introverts, some are extroverts. I know of people of a particular couple who they were passing through this same challenge. One normally likes this social media thing. You post and I post, and you can see he can see her go as far as posting some of her male counterparts. She's an extrovert, but it's not as if she was having affairs with those male friends or whatever. But that's her persona. So, but it's left for her, like I said, the communication gap and knowing how to respect partner's boundary is important. When you know that this is what your partner likes, you engage them in conversations. If they agree to it, it's fine. But if they don't agree to it, you have to also respect their boundaries, as long as they are not doing what is wrong.
Having male friends for young ones, as a lady, don't you think having much male friends is like a red flag on its own for guys, and thereby insecurity creeps in? Because you have a girlfriend, or this young man has a girlfriend, and her girlfriend, his girlfriend's friends are guys, huge tall looking guys, and you are one handsome guys and they're hot, and you are one not so tall, nomenclature, no shades to the short guys. You're not so tall, but then you're not bad either. But then she posts guys that you are intimidated with. Don't you think her having male friends makes insecurity creeping?
Like I said, it depends on her, it depends on the couple. I have a lot of female friends.
Oh, okay, wow.
I have a lot of female friends, and because of what I do. So, and my partner should be able to understand that, because we've had a lot of conversation on this.
Okay.
But if there is a communication gap, I think that's where the problem is. And there's no
communication gap.
There's no trust. Because trust is also key. Like I said, the communication gap is also key. So if there's no trust between the both parties, sometimes you see your partner post and your mind is
flying.
Oh, why did this guy post this? But you know your partner. You guys have already had this particular conversation before. And sometimes you're able to tell your partner, this is my friend. This is how we became friends. This is how we met. This is how we've been into this particular project together. We've been working together. And so it's not a red flag.
Okay, true.